Hey guys, welcome to this edition of Sled Talk. My name is Jaret Smith, Snowmobile Product Manager for North American Snowmobile Division. Today I'm going to take you through the 2022 Sidewinder S-TX GT. We'll give you some information on what separates this model, and for those customers who placed an order on our Spring Power Search program, giving you some of the differences between this model and what you can look forward to for this upcoming season. Alright, so as you can see here, this is a 2022 Sidewinder S-TX GT. So this year, this is called Ink Blue and Regal Gold. So the gold, if you look, has a really nice metallic. You can see it shining in the sun there. This model is really targeted for that premium look. We're looking for a very luxury feeling, very high-end refined feeling with this snowmobile. And some of the features that you're going to see cater to that exact audience. So if you look at the front of the snowmobile, it has a QS3 1.5. Now what a QS3 is, it's a quick switch, so you can easily go from position 1, 2, or 3 with that adjuster there. So a soft, medium, or firm, depending on how you like the ride of your vehicle. The front of this sled does have a single rate spring, different than some of the SRXs that you'll see with a dual rate. And being a touring sled, it has the older style front end. It doesn't have the arc suspension. On the front, you're going to see our Strike skis. Now, being that this is an EPS model, we did make some changes with regards to the shim. So the shim on this model is different than a standard model because with that power steering, we can put a little bit more bite on the front end, and that power steering just smooths it out where it doesn't transfer back to the rider. So new this year is electronic power steering. We're really happy to be bringing that back to the market. If you recall, 2011 Apexes were the first introduction of power steering. We also were the first to the market on the ATV side with power steering. So if you're putting on those big mile days, it reduces the fatigue, even just moving the snowmobile around on the grass here. It's amazing to see with a little bit of extra steering effort taken away by that power steering. GT models also will come with what we call a medium windscreen. So this windscreen here has pre-marked dimples for mirrors, so it's very easy to add mirrors. It has great wind protection, and it's channeling that wind around the rider, so it's going to protect your chest area from the cold days and also your hands from those really cold days. It's a smoked polycarbonate, and with this a little bit thicker polycarbonate because we designed it in mind of mirrors. The design of the mirrors and where they are pointed was all done in CAD to ensure that you can see behind you clearly. And also, again, the thicker polycarbonate helps reduce some of that vibration. GT model will come standard with a goggle bag. So this bag will give you some storage inside there. And it also, if you see the grating kind of is down below to the engine. So the heat from the engine rises up and it keeps this bag pretty warm. So typically I'll leave like my cell phone in there and let it stay pretty warm during the ride. You're also going to see that on the dash of this vehicle, you're going to have an RCA, so that's for the driver where you can put in your heated helmet, and you have a high-low heated seat. On the really cold days, this is really handy. Left-hand side of the handlebars, you're going to see you have push button starting. So you push this button right here when the key and the kill switch are off, and you can start the vehicle. You have your high-low beams, you have 5-position hand and thumb warmer. And then this top one also allows you to cycle through the gauges of the vehicle. A couple years ago, we did the new stealth controls. These are the composite brake lever, better modulation. So being composite, it doesn't transfer that cold temperature to your left hand. It allows you to isolate yourself from that. Whereas if it was an aluminum or something like that, the heat sink is different and it really transfers that cold temperature back to your hand. So one of the big differences of the S-TX starts in the back. So it's a 146-inch length. It is a Ripsaw 1, and it's a 1.25-inch track. So it has a good amount of grip in the rear end with that 146. It bridges the bumps very well. This sled is actually really surprising with regards to not only its ride, one of the best riding snowmobiles in our lineup, I would say. It helps bridge the bumps. It has really good low bump compliance in those 6-inch bumps and below, just fantastic smoothing those out. But it's also quite a rigid chassis. So you can see the reinforcements on the side of the running board there. Little different design than our other vehicles. And what this means is it is quite fast. I rode one of these sleds in 2020 season. I put quite a few miles on it, and this sled will surprise a lot of people because that chassis is a little more rigid. It doesn't lose as much horsepower through the drivetrain, and this sled flat out hauls with that Sidewinder horsepower. So the big thing though, if you're looking at an S-TX GT, you're looking at the luggage capability, the touring capability, maybe having a second passenger with you. So if we start with a second passenger, on each side here, you're gonna see you have controls right back here. And we'll look right here, again, right back here. So there's a couple things. One, you got a heated visor outlet for your passenger. And these controls here are actually heated seat and heated hand grips. So your passenger also gets the heated seat and gets heated hand grips for their hands. We have some questions on how hard this seat is to take off. So I'm gonna try and show you with one hand here. So one clasp there. On this side, same thing. You pull up right here. And then over here, you have a 12-volt style for the electrical. So you pull that up. Now if you pull forward, oops, just like this, and there you go. So now you just took your two-person snowmobile and quickly converted it for a single ride day if you're gonna just take the sled out on your own. Really simple, really slick how quick that second seat comes off. So now that we got the two-up seat off, let's take a look at the rear luggage. You have two removable saddlebags, and also underneath here you have a hard-sided storage. So these rubber hold downs come up, and then you'll see inside of there pretty significant storage. And then you also have right there an auxiliary gas tank. So what this does is you'll fill that gas tank and your primary tank, and then this one will actually drain first with vacuum. So this tank will be empty, then you'll have a still full primary tank. Now, there also is some storage underneath here. So if we pull off this gap, and we lift this up, now you can see those lines of where the gas will go through there. But underneath here you have storage for your toolkit right there. So your toolkit would go right in here. And then on this side, you actually have really handy belt storage. So you can see there, it's actually made with two grips to hold your belt. So your belt is out of sight and you always have it when you need it. It just slides back on like that. Hides your belt and your toolkit underneath and locks back down. So that's the hard-sided main storage. Now if we look underneath here, these are the hard-sided saddlebags. So how these work is they're actually lockable. So it'll come with a key when you get this snowmobile. You can unlock here, pull that forward. There's a little push on this side. And now the big advantage of these is you can now take these in with you if you're doing an overnight trip. And let's say you're going into the hotel. You take that off your sled. You could have your change of clothes, change of shoes, or anything you need in there. And you just walk right into the hotel. Your sled doesn't look any different. Still very streamlined. And you get that lots of storage in both of these rear bags. To install them, you'll see there's two little indentations there. You line those up. And then you're gonna clip that back on, and then to unlock, just like that, you can see. Lock these two back down, and then lock that. And you're all set. So that is the rear storage. So you get two hard-sided saddlebags with a snowmobile, and they do come standard. Underneath, looking at that rear suspension, you can see right now I have them engaged, but it does come standard with overload springs. So that's a fiberglass rod that you can flip up right here when you want to have that extra bit of weight carrying capacity if you have a passenger. If you're not riding with a passenger, you can flip this back down. It'll take the stress off of these rods here, and then you'll have similar riding for just a one passenger. So it gives you that flexibility of riding with one or two passengers, or a little bit of luggage on the back of the vehicle as well. So that's a quick walk around of the 2022 Sidewinder S-TX GT. If you have any questions about this snowmobile, if you want to leave them in the comments, we'll try to get back to you and answer some of those questions. But really great looking snowmobile, just striking when the sun hits that ink gold. It took us a while to get this ink and regal gold set up, and we're really happy with how it turned out. I think everyone that ordered one of these sleds is going to really like it once you see it in person. Sometimes it's hard to do justice to some of these colors in initial photos and video. You really got to see it in person. So thanks for joining today. Hope you guys enjoyed this format, taking a look at this 2022 Yamaha snowmobile.